Hello, I'm Robert, and I'm just this time helping people scared of COVID-19. This is about how you can protect yourself. And the United Kingdom government, where I am, has not made it really clear, first, how vitally important it is to do this. And I mean, really, it should be totally in your face. You can't turn your television on without within half an hour getting an ad explaining that you have to do this. And explaining the importance of it. You should have some kind of ad campaign like the Clump Click, that this really does save lives doing this. It's not just a silly little thing you've got to do. And that it not only saves lives, but it's very different from flu. So you can reduce your risk of flu by washing your hands. You can't stop it. The reason is because flu viruses are airborne. They can be transmitted just through breathing. So if you're in the same lift with someone, you're not even looking at them, and you're not touching anything they've touched, but just by breathing in and out, and all the load of virus in the lift can make the other person have it. You can't do that with COVID-19. It's only transmitted by the big droplets that come out of your mouth when you're speaking. So when you're speaking, you get some quite big droplets come out. And if you're very close to someone else while you're speaking, then you can transmit it that way. And then you also get it if you cough or you sneeze, and obviously going quite a long way when you do that. But the WHO say 1 or 2 meters is far enough so these things, they only drop down to the ground in seconds, because they're quite big droplets, the ones that are infected. And so if you keep it 1 or 2 meters away from everyone, you're not going to get it. Not that way. So then the other way that you can get it is if someone coughs or sneezes or talks and the droplets fall onto a surface, you then touch that surface, then touch your eyes, nose or mouth. The safest way to make sure that you don't touch your eyes, nose and mouth is just to stop touching your face. But if you really have to, it's okay to kind of scratch yourself in other places, but not your eyes, nose and mouth. And if you have to, wash your hands first. And just keep washing your hands any time that you've touched a surface that could have COVID-19. Then wash your hands. And soapy water is just a little bit of genetic material. It's not a living organism really. It's just a genetic material and a bit of protein coating. And that's all that the virus is. And soap destroys it. Completely destroys it. So then you've got to wash your hands very thoroughly. Say one, and then the last thing is that if you cough or sneeze, do it into your elbow. This is in case you've got COVID-19, protect someone else. If you've done all these other things, then you're not going to have COVID-19. You can be as confident as, if you do it very thoroughly, you have to do it thoroughly. Then Bruce Aylward said he'd gone all the way around China, the worst spots in China, including Wuhan. Then he came away and gave his press conference in Geneva. He didn't have a mask, and people asked, why aren't you wearing a mask? He said, I wouldn't be here if I had a mask. If I was a risk, it wouldn't make any sense to risk infecting you lot, international journalists, with COVID-19. I wouldn't be here. I don't have COVID-19. I'm very low risk. He washed his hands every half hour in Wuhan, and he was doing all these things that I just said. And so, if we all did this, the main problem is compliance, that you can't get everyone to do this. But if we all did this, and we all washed our hands, and we all kept a distance, then it really couldn't spread very much at all. And if the doctors also did the same thing when they're seeing patients, they would tweet that they knew everyone who's got COVID-19 and they protect themselves, and because that's another main way that it can spread. So now people who follow these instructions can still get colds or flus, because remember, those are airborne. So you could get them just sitting in the same room with someone for a long time, even though you're doing all this stuff. You work in a call centre, say, or something, and you're sitting next to someone and you're all distanced properly, but you're still breathing in and out the same air, and you're in there all day. You might well pass flu to each other, but you're not going to pass COVID-19 to each other. You can pass SARS to each other. You can't pass COVID-19. So, then I want to show you, this is, you've got to learn how to wash your hands properly. So, first of all, this video explains the idea behind it. So he just covers the palms in blackness, and then if you just watch, he does these various things, and then he's doing most of the steps that it's a slightly different sequence. Try doing them yourself as he do it, but I'll show you the Dr. Tedros one, which is a slightly different, it's very slight variation on this one. And around the palms, you see how the black is going everywhere. That's like the soap. You're soaping your entire hand, and the fingernails, and then around the wrist. So Dr. Tedros doesn't do that, and he does an extra bit instead, and that's it done. You see, so it's really quite quick, but well, that's slightly speeded up, I think. So now watch Dr. Tedros do it. I'll have to turn off the sound, and I recommend you just follow him a few times. So it's the Safe Hands Challenge. Then upload a video of yourself doing the same thing. So first of all, you wet your hands. He's just introducing it. You wet your hands. Then you cover them in soap. Soap and water. Oh yes, here are the steps. Right. So first, wet your hands with water. So you just try doing that as you go. And apply enough soap to cover both hand surfaces. And then rub your hands palm to palm. So do this as he does it. Then you do the right hand over left, and then the other way around, with your fingers interlaced. And then you do it palm to palm with the fingers interlaced. And then you've got this thing. Just do it as he does it and follow it. You follow this a few times. And then you've got to do the thumb bit. If you follow this a few times, it'll become a routine. And then the fingernails bit. And then once you've done all that, you're done. Then you rinse it off. And then you dry your hands with a clean cloth. And then you use that to turn off the tap, and then you throw the tissue away. So if you look at that, you can get the impression that it may seem to be quite a difficult thing to do because there's so many steps to it. But we are very good at sequences. Once you go through it a few times, once you've done one bit, then you find the next bit is triggered, and the next and the next. You don't really need to remember it, just do it. So I recommend going through that video a few times until you've got the sequence down to pat. And then you will be able to do safe hand washing, and you'll keep yourself safe of COVID-19. And then I recommend that you download, so I put all four of them in one here. So, oh yes, now this is one. So, I mean, we saw recently that Prince Charles has got COVID-19, and I'm not at all surprised, sadly. I mean, it's very sad that he's got it, and he does have a risk of dying, and I would not like to see that happen. But I think I'm personally, I think he's a good chap, Prince Charles, and it'd be very sad if he dies of this. But anyway, the the royal family, I noticed, were not following these WHO guidelines at all during the when Prince Harry and Meghan, in their last royal occasion, they were going around doing elbow bumps, and Prince Charles was standing very, very close to people. I was concerned when I watched it. He talks to people. He has a very close distance when he talks to people, and so I remember talking can infect the other person, and I'm not at all surprised that he got it. And they just weren't following the instructions at all, and I think this is partly that the UK government is not making it clear to people. So the UK government should make very clear what the instructions are and how important they are. It's not a silly thing that you do that might, because the UK government say that if you're at home, everyone will get it like flu. It's not like that. You can protect yourself against this. Only 1 person in 10 at home gets it, with this disease. It's just got a very long infectious period till 14 days after you've recovered. unlike flu. So it makes up from being very hard to get, from having a very long infectious period. And this makes it very easy to protect against. And so when it comes to shaking hands, don't break the 2 meter distance to shake someone's hands. What you should do is to an air high five, or you put your hands on your chest, hands on your heart, or you just wave at someone, say hello, nice to see you, something like that. But don't shake hands, don't elbow bump, it gets you too close. Don't even do the Wuhan foot thing. That's too close as well. Just stand at a distance of 1 or 2 meters from them and do some gesture instead of shaking hands. And so, and if you have someone in your house who's got COVID-19, I will stop at this point, then be sure to follow the WHO guidance. And I'm sorry to have to say this, but please, if you think someone in your house has got COVID-19, check what the WHO say you should do on that. Because the UK government is not taking it seriously enough, and it's not really, and the people here, I talk to so many people in the United Kingdom, and they just don't take it seriously either. They don't realise it should be stressed over and over again. These things save lives. You're saving the life of someone's granny or grandpa. Even if it's young people, you're saving a young person from maybe having to be on the ventilator for 6 weeks, because even young people can get very sick and very occasionally die. It's a very serious disease, and it's not just a kind of another flu. Anyway, so that's it. So please do this. Any of you who are watching it, any people who I follow, please do. I'll put a link to this in the description. Please follow these instructions and make sure that the other people in your household know about this. I know it's very difficult with children, but young children are much less likely to be, like under 10. Then they get they're much less likely to. They usually get only the mild disease for some reason. Nobody really understands why. And babies, they hardly get anything. It's very rare to babies to even get to advance very far at all with this disease. And the youngest that has died so far is age 14. And then the other thing that's a little bit helpful with young kids is that so far with flu, young kids are a major driver of it, and they infect adults. With COVID-19, it doesn't seem to work that way. They're still researching into it. They can't say absolutely that you won't be infected by a child, by a young kid under 10 or something, or even by an older child, a teen. But it seems not to be the driver, and it's the other way around, that adults get it, and then they pass it on to children. And then the children, they only notice, in China, the only children they found were, when they tested an entire household, and they found some of the kids who had no symptoms or hardly symptomatic at all. So young kids are barely symptomatic, but they don't seem to infect anyone. So it's a very, very unusual respiratory disease. It is not flu. Anyway, that's it. So hopefully this helps some of you to be safer, and do please keep safe from this thing. If you're United Kingdom, just keep do these instructions. These are very, very, very important, both for you and for other people. And if you join our Facebook group Doomsday Debunked, then please read the rules to the head of the group. It's very important, and it helps the group to run properly.